We're taping. What kind of, are you happy with the protocol so far, Kelly?
Oh yeah, it's been excellent. It's only been a month and there's been like numerous amounts of improvement.
Language,
just things that you didn't even notice before, like he's eating all types of different foods now, where
that's
before,
a big thing.
Yeah, before it would just be like he's so picky, but now he's like trying everything and has a bigger appetite. I've been able to get him on a schedule for sleeping. He's socializing and playing a lot more in daycare, talking a lot more, saying words and spontaneous sentences and things, that answering questions, yes and no questions. He wouldn't do that before, but now he is a lot more, so major improvements.
And how long have you been doing it?
1 month.
That's incredible.
Yes, very incredible. Very incredible. So it's awesome.
And you would definitely recommend the protocol to others?
Absolutely, as soon as possible. Like,
how old are you?
I'm 23.
Right, so this is very new for you, having a child with autism.
Yes, first child, and before him I was never around any kids, so this is like, everything is brand new.
So you really had no idea these kids could get so much better so quickly either?
No idea.
Were you told something else in terms of when you talked to the doctors? What kind of things did they say?
That it's no treatment. It's nothing that really can be done. Only types of like intervention that may help to improve, but nothing like natural work. They don't want to hear it. Things like that. So, but that's the furthest thing from the truth. Clearly. Yeah.
All right, we'll talk to you guys in another month.
Okay, thank you so much.
Say bye-bye.
Bye.
They're not moving. So y'all just, I don't get it. They still here.
There you go.
Hello, we're Kevin and Angelique Johnson, and we wanted to talk a little bit about our 30 days on the protocol. So we basically discovered Carmen and Walter based upon family, friends, and things like that. But the fact that they had a nonprofit that is geared towards maximizing autism potential was something that, you know, we knew we had to just seek Carmen out to talk to her, to find out her story and what was going on and what they had to offer. And the reason being is we noticed some things happening with our grandson Kobe. And basically, once Walter and Carmen came over and explained the protocol, it lined up with research we had already done, because we were suspecting some things about immunization maybe triggering some things in our grandson. And basically, just to talk about what has happened in the last 30 days, I'm almost speechless, because I would put it in the sense of it's almost miraculous what has happened. And it's in a sneaky, gradual way. What has started to happen is we've gotten our grandson Kobe back. And so he was normal progression for the first 2 years, and then we noticed he started to slip away a little bit. You know, language skills that he had started to go away, and we just really started researching red flags just because a lot of things that were going on. And by the time we finally got with a doctor, they said, okay, we're going to refer him, but it's too late for early intervention, so you need to start thinking about special education and things like that. And that, you know, definitely doesn't line up with what our faith is and our expectation of this situation. So again, circling back to find out about Carmen and Walter. So this is about, you know, I say a little more than 30 days into the protocol with Kobe, and some of the things that have happened over the last 30 days, it's almost like, you know, like I said, we've gotten our grandson back. One of the things that used to always happen with Kobe for the first 2 years is he was loud and singing and always had verbal, something, you know, coming out of him. He had a song in his spirit, and then he basically shut down. I mean, to give you an example, he would say his numbers every day when he walked down the stairs. So for the past 6 months or so, I couldn't get him to say his numbers going down the stairs, anything like that. And over the past 30 days, gradually, and like I said, in a sneaky sort of way, there are so many things I can't even number that has just kind of come back to normal. So and the interesting thing about this is not only things like more language, more spontaneous language, which he's never had. That's one of the things we've been working with him on, answering questions and things like that. So now he's not only answering questions, but he, you know, is basically starting conversations and things like that. You know,
like give us an example. What kind of stuff would he say?
Okay,
or has
so
he said?
Yeah, all kinds of things. But an example of, you know, I think Kelly, my daughter, was walking in the park with him, and she was walking on a beam, and you know, just out of the blue, he said, "Don't fall, mommy." The other day, his grandmother was watching him, and she was starting to fall asleep, and you know, he said, "Get up, Valerie." And
wow.
And then what did he say? Wake up. Wake up. And then, you know, she was kind of groggy. He said, "I'll give you a kiss." So I mean, stuff like that, where he's initiating and saying things that.
And let me tell you, earlier on that day, I was asleep in the morning, and then he was waking me up, and he said, "Wake up, G-Ma, get up." And I said, "No, I don't want to get up." I said, "Well, if you give me a kiss, I get up." So for him later on in the day to tell her that, you know,
he held on to that.
He held on to it. And the thing about it, and this is how I know the protocol is working, because when you guys came over and talked to us, you told us some things about autism die-off and things that we should expect. And I'm, you know, kind of thinking like, you know, aggression, hyperactivity, this and that and other. I'm like, okay, what do, you know, okay, that sounds kind of crazy. I don't know what's going to happen with that. But about a week or two in, it was funny, because not only had we got all the good stuff, but we had, you know, like terrible twos just woke up.
Yeah.
And it was funny because it reminded me of when Angie, she has her glasses now, but when she first got LASIK surgery, the first night she was reading her Bible, just like a kid in a candy store. It's like, I can see, you know, and I could see Kobe's wheels spinning.
Yeah.
It was like, you know, the heavens had opened, and he's thinking like, what can I get into next? I haven't seen things in, you know, with such clarity in a long time. So I could tell that, you know, that was happening. The good thing is, you know, over the course of a week or two, that subsided. So those symptoms weren't as much as they were previously. But the interesting thing is, it's only been 30 days, but the changes have been so much, and they came so rapidly that we have gotten used to the new Kobe, because this is kind of, you know, how he was before. And now we're not saying it's all the way there. It's a long road ahead, but it's things like, you know, if I give an example, you know, 2 weeks of speech therapy prior to starting the protocol, he didn't say one word, you know, to his therapist. So now he's in there talking and engaging and things like that. So, you know, it's the type of thing that it's sneaky and gradual. Because
what did he say to us when we came in? Was it, "How are you?" Or?
Yes, he said, "Hello, how are you?"
Exactly. Wow.
Where he never used to say.
And that's the whole point. And it's just, it's so much of that you forget about it. But like I said, for me, it's the sound level, because I remember, you know, the many, you know, those first 2 years, sometimes thinking, "Whoo, can't watch TV. Will this kid, you know, kind of calm down a little bit?" Then it got to the point where he just wasn't saying anything.
Or he would watch his own computer thing, which is the iPad, and just constantly push the same play and stop button for, like, he could do that an hour straight, used to. And now he'll sit and he'll watch like he used to and interact and press when it says press, or color when it says color.
That's beautiful.
Or maneuver it around like he used to do. He know how to maneuver it. So at one point he lost all of that.
Changes in his language, changes in his behavior, and how about socialization? Him wanting to interact with other people.
Yeah, the interaction, for sure. And again, this is where I know in June we were on vacation and transitions were crazy. I mean, he was cutting up at the hotel when we take him out of the pool, all that type of stuff. you know, you fast forward to August, just a few weeks ago, he had a birthday party, and he was like the belle of the ball at the birthday party. I mean, he was the man, you know, just, you know, running around, talking to everybody, you know, no meltdowns, no anything. I mean, it was like a normal day, just
you guys
interacting.
Because you should have taped that.
we didn't tape that.
I took a lot of pictures, but I didn't tape.
And it was the type of thing, I think that was early enough on where you wonder, like, okay, well, is this going to be a good day? Is anything going to, you know, set off or cause an issue? But it was the type of thing that, you know, everything from...
He even let the lady
we did tape a little bit of it. Because when we sung...
He let someone paint on his face? Oh, that's a big deal.
Yeah,
face paint. He let her face paint. They had held his head to the side, and he stayed there and let her paint his face.
Well, and the other thing, that we did tape a little bit, and it was when they were singing Happy Birthday to him. And it was the type of thing, you just see him there just taking it in, everybody singing Happy Birthday to me, and then when it was time to blow out the candles, you know, he blew out the candles on cue, and then just started clapping with the biggest smile on his face. I mean, it was like he knew exactly what was going on, like, you know, I'm the man, it's my birthday.
Clap for
himself,
know,
it's all about me.
Like,
and one of the things I wanted to cover, because this is actually a big deal in autism, is his irrational fears, and we talked a little bit about that. So I want you to explain a little how that has changed.
Yeah, that, and again, this is all this like gradual, sneaky stuff that you have to really think about it. So he had gotten to the point where every once in a while there would be things that he once was good with that he just didn't want any part of. You know, whether it's playing ABC Mouse on the computer, you know, looking around the corner like, I don't want to play that no more. Even there's a game that I got for him through some research, Little Linguist, where it's just, there's these little animals you put on the thing and it'll say, you know, this is a gray elephant. You know, so he had got to the point where he didn't want to deal with that. You know, over these 30 days, you know, he's playing with that like a charm. He's not having a problem there. Stuffed animals that talk. He didn't want anything to do with those.
He was afraid of those.
He was
afraid of those. So when I go back to this birthday scenario, one of the things, and we debated, should we get this?
We're in the store debating.
Because he's, you know, got turned on to Daniel Tiger, and he likes Daniel Tiger, so we ended up getting him a stuffed Daniel Tiger, and when you squeeze the paw, you know, it talks. And basically, we got him that for his birthday, not knowing if he was going to deal with it at all, and that is like his best friend right now.
It's his best friend. He pushed it, and it talked to him, whereas in the past, he didn't want nothing to do with a stuffed animal that talked.
And also, you guys mentioned that he was afraid of like bugs or something like that.
Oh, yeah.
And I just got to say, we just witnessed him pick up a dead caterpillar, right?
A dead bug.
Right, so I mean,
he was like literally terrified of the flies. And still the little ants. Like if he don't have shoes on, he's going to jump right on this bench.
Right.
And he see him and say ant. But he used to be like go in fear and cry and hide behind you. And for him to pick up that bug now, and his mama ran away from him.
Well, and the thing about it is, it wasn't always like that. You know, these are, just like I'm saying, it's sneaky in terms of the fact that it seemed to have gone away. It was sneaky in terms of how it creeped in as well, because that wasn't, you know, something that he was having in the beginning.
How would you guys describe the quality of your life since starting the protocol?
How has your life
changed by his improvement?
It's like taking a deep breath and saying, okay, he understands me. You know, he's acting as a normal progressing 2-year-old, 3-year-old would act, you know. And so before you were on edge, like watching him run around the counter, like till you make him stop, or humming and constantly doing like repetitious things where he was lost in his own world, or watching the fan spin around. And now none of those things happens, and so it's like a relief in a way to see that something has clicked and it's working.
Yeah, and it's still it's progress, because it's
only,
you know, there's good and there's bad, and you know, that type of thing. And it's only been 1 month. It seems like it's been longer. But another thing that I wanted to talk about, so you still have to, or at least in my mind, you wonder, is it going to be an issue, something that was an issue before? He had developed like an irrational separation anxiety. I mean, we went through, you know, a few weeks where if anybody in the house left, you know, he was going to cut up.
Well, yeah, he had a
so that's another thing that we've noticed is now, you know, we can come and go, and we're not having those issues. So I think from a quality of life perspective, you know, it's, you know, the type of thing where there's a little more freedom. You know, it's still a fight and it's a battle, you know, that you're dealing with. But first of all, you know, there's hope at the end of the tunnel, and that's why I love the name, you know, maximizing the potential, because there's potential for help for everybody if you realize it and you seek it out.
Because as a parent, to have that sinking feeling that, oh my God, I'm losing my kid, something is not right here, and to see them fade away from you, that's like a feeling you can't even express. So to see that come back, it's phenomenal.
How hard is doing a protocol?
Good question.
It's not as easy as
it's hard for us.
For us.
Because he doesn't like medicine.
He doesn't like medicine.
So it's generally a struggle, you know, kind of, you know, getting him to take it or to drink it and things like that.
And anyway, he could taste any little thing that's different and off. So it's a struggle. We have to hold him down and give him the protocol, but you know, we have to do what we have to do.
Exactly, because you would do that if it were medicine, and he
anyway,
had, and, you know, if you need an antibiotic or something, you would do that anyway. Yep.
Yeah, and now it's just become what we have to do.
But that's a part that's hard, just because he's not taking the medicine. But in terms of just, you know, giving him something a couple times a day, I mean, when you look at the results and just the research that has gone behind it, I mean, that's the part that's
makes it all worthwhile. Right. Sure. I know you and I talked, and you said that you would recommend the protocol to maybe someone that's working with you or something like that. So
correct. So it's you know, interesting, because there's a person that works for me, and they basically were relating a story about a nephew, and just hearing some of the same things, you know, difficulty sleeping, bags under the eyes, you know, transition, really being, I won't necessarily say difficult, but kind of irrational in terms of, you know, he's telling me a story of, you know, they're driving down the street on a trip, and the dad is driving, and he has to reach all the way in the back while he's driving because the kid is going to scream unless he's holding the dad's hand. So things like that. And they had on their own started thinking, well, we kind of got to tell my sister to research some, you know, autism type things. And basically, you know, I kind of linked them to a couple of websites, but the thing that I, you know, told them was giving them a link to your website as well, knowing that there are natural ways, in addition to anything else that you're doing, that can help, you know, try to heal some of the injuries and things that's going on, all with just, you know, natural supplements and things like that. So, you know, they're still very early on in terms of figuring out what it is they need to do, but I would recommend, you know, that they contact you without hesitation.
Well, one of the things that we come across is the skepticism that people have in terms of using natural things for autism. How skeptical were you guys when you started using the protocol?
I wasn't skeptical at all, because I know the benefits of natural healthy things, and I have been using them, you know, frequently over these years, since we've been taught differently in our church about different foods, the pollutions, things in the air, the milk, all of those things.
Well, let me ask you a better question. If you weren't skeptical, how surprised were you to see the results so quickly?
Oh, real surprised. Because I'm like, we use herbs every day, and I know use this if you got a cold or whatever. So to see what you formulated together make a veil come off, like an eye-opening to the situation, to see their kid open up and the fog fade away, and you know, they have clarity to talk to you and to communicate with you and to ask for the things that they want. And you know, that was amazing to me.
So to me, I look at it a little bit differently, because I'm a bit of a researcher. Yeah, so anything that I have to deal with, you know, I'm researching it. So I have, you know, all of the therapy manuals from teachmetotalk.com, which is the continuing education for the actual speech therapists and things like that, because if he's going to speech therapy, I want to know, you know, what it is they're doing so we can continue it at home and things like that. So to that note, I had listened to like 3 or 4 different books on tape, and you know, on things like autism breakthrough and stuff like that. So I was kind of keyed in on the fact that there was some thinking out there that there are some solutions. So from my perspective, it's just a total godsend finding your nonprofit, because what your clients are able to do is benefit on the years of research and all the blood, sweat, and tears and love that you've put into figuring out the right combination. And it's the type of thing, in my mind, you know, it was like I would be trying to do what you ended up doing, figuring out that solution. How do I help my grandson? So that's the godsend that you already did it. And all we had to do was tap into it.
And it didn't take you 10 years to do it.
Oh, it took 1 month. So that's it.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up, guys. We appreciate you guys trying.
I'm sure you'll cut and find something.
Oh, they wanted to come back. Oh, she wanted to bring him. He wanted to come back.
Okay, go ahead.
We had a situation where we really noticed that this is another big change for us to see in Kobe when we took him for a photo shoot for his pictures for his birthday. And so we went out to a farm setting, and I was concerned because I didn't know how he would act. I didn't know if he
with the photographer.
With the photographer, I didn't know if somebody he didn't know, and if he would follow directions. You know, I know she could get pictures of him staring off because he could stare off. You know, but I didn't know if he could follow directions and move from different locations. Well, when we got there, right away, she introduced herself to him, made him feel comfortable, and he followed her. And to the site she wanted him to go, and she started telling him to take pictures. She said, fold your arms, and he didn't quite know what that meant. So his mom showed him, and then he folded his arms, and he leaned back, and he started posing and taking pictures like, you don't have to tell me, I know what to do. So that was exciting to see. Not only did he not get agitated or cry or feel like scared of the situation, he took over the situation.
He excelled at it.
Yeah, and followed her to the next shoot in the next area she wanted him to stand at. And she said, sit on the porch. He sit on the porch. She said, hold your jacket. He held his jacket. Yes, and so
at the end, she said he's a professional and she wants to work with him.
Yes.
Wow.
Wow, that's incredible.
Wow.